So just because you search somebody's residence or vehicle or other property doesn't necessarily mean that that person is your suspect in the crime. It simply means that that place is likely to have evidence related to the crime.
The FBI has just dropped a shocking update that's completely turned the case upside down. For months, everyone believed that singer David Anthony Burke was responsible for the death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. But after raiding his home and his car, investigators uncovered evidence that proves David might not be the killer after all. Now the question everyone's asking is, if it wasn't him, then who did it and why was he framed? The story began back on a regular Monday morning, September 8, 2025. Some maintenance workers in the Hollywood Hills noticed a terrible smell coming from a black Tesla that had been parked in the same spot for several days. The car, with Texas plates, was registered to David. At first, people thought it was just another abandoned vehicle. But when the car was towed and opened, what was inside left everyone stunned. Wrapped tightly in a plastic bag inside the trunk were decomposed human remains. The body was in such bad shape that it took over a week for the coroner to confirm the victim's identity. Eventually, they were able to identify her through a small red tattoo on her right index finger. It belonged to a teenage girl named Celeste Rivas from Lake Elsinore, California. Celeste's story broke hearts across the country. She had been reported missing multiple times throughout 2024, each time returning home before vanishing again. Her final disappearance was in April 2024, just months before her remains were found. The most chilling part? Her body was discovered one day after what would have been her 15th birthday.
The news first broke, most people just assumed he couldn't have possibly done it. I even said to a friend when it first came out, I was like, I feel like the Fortnite kid who's pretty normal didn't do something like this. Because that was always the impression that I got from him, but that may not be the case.
When the story first hit the news, people couldn't believe David might be involved. The young singer was known for being humble and hardworking, a kid who went from making beats on his phone to signing with a major label. His fans loved his music and saw him as a genuine, down-to-earth guy. Many refused to believe he could be part of something so horrific. David's team quickly pointed out that he had been on tour for weeks before the body was found, performing in front of thousands of people. That seemed like a solid alibi. But the rumors didn't stop. The fact that the car was registered to him and left just a short distance from the house he stayed in raised major questions. Why was his car used? And who else had access to it? The police confirmed that several people from David's inner circle had access to his cars, including his manager, friends, and other artists. Still, the discovery was too close to home, literally. The car had been dumped less than 100 feet from where David had been living. That didn't sit right with investigators or the public. Then came the twist that changed everything. TMZ interviewed Celeste's mother, who revealed something police hadn't shared yet. Her daughter had been seeing someone named David before she went missing. She said Celeste had talked about hanging out with him and had been to his shows. Suddenly, David's wholesome image didn't look so clean anymore.
And also, and I think even more importantly, was that she mentioned that Celeste, at least she was under the impression, that Celeste was dating a guy called David, and that she had hung out with him several times before, and that was the last time she saw him.
As detectives started digging deeper, they found disturbing digital evidence linking David and Celeste. It started with old messages on Discord that went back to 2021, when Celeste was only 11 or 12. The conversations showed clear signs of grooming. Investigators believe David first met her on Roblox before moving their chats to private servers. It became obvious this wasn't some random fan interaction. This was a relationship that had been building for years. Even more unsettling were matching tattoos. Both David and Celeste had the same small SH symbol inked on their right index fingers. While some celebrities have similar tattoos, the timing and placement of these two raised eyebrows. Investigators believed it symbolized their secret relationship. But things didn't stop there. A leaked demo track titled Celeste, allegedly recorded by David in late 2023, painted an even darker picture. The lyrics were obsessive, almost possessive, and made direct references to a girl named Celeste, mentioning her tattoo and scent. Fans who heard the demo said the words sounded like a confession disguised as a song. People also started noticing another strange pattern. David's biggest hit, romantic homicide, dropped on September 7, 2022, Celeste's birthday. Many began to think it wasn't a coincidence, but a disturbing sign of his obsession. Every detail, from release dates to lyrics, started to feel intentional.
It trained you. That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my! Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.
As more photos and clips surfaced online, things got even more suspicious. Screenshots showed a girl who looked like Celeste backstage at David's shows and appearing in his live streams. One particular video from early 2024 showed them interacting like close friends, too close, according to many viewers. The video was later deleted, but by then, the internet had already saved copies. A former teacher of Celeste's also came forward, saying she had talked about meeting David online when she was 13. The teacher said Celeste once ran away to be with him and was found by police before disappearing again. Her testimony helped piece together the tragic timeline leading up to Celeste's final days. Celeste's brother added another heartbreaking detail. The last time he saw her, she said she was going to the movies with someone named David, and she left in the same Tesla that would later become her grave. That connection sent chills through everyone following the case. When investigators raided David's Hollywood Hills home on September 17, 2025, they found digital devices, notebooks, and possible forensic evidence linking him to the victim. But here's the shocking part: some of that evidence suggested someone else might have planted things to make him look guilty. Friends and neighbors mentioned that multiple people were constantly going in and out of the house, which opened the door to new theories.
The latest thing to happen was the alleged brother of the victim, who was followed by David, was found. People started DMing him and asking him questions, which I think is a bit too far. Like, this guy's definitely grieving right now that his sister's body was just...
Now, the FBI believes David may have been framed. The question is, by who? Was it someone from his inner circle trying to destroy his career, or someone with a personal grudge? The truth is still unfolding, but one thing's for sure: this case has gone from tragic to terrifying. What started as a simple missing person mystery has turned into a web of secrets, betrayal, and manipulation. And as new evidence comes to light, the real killer may finally be revealed, proving that sometimes the most shocking monsters hide in plain sight. Getting that search warrant was no easy job. Investigators had to prove there was solid evidence connecting the property to Celeste's death and convince a judge that something linked to the crime could be found there. The fact that a judge approved it showed they had something serious. The house in question wasn't just any home. It was a $4.1 million mansion that David rented for $20,000 a month through his manager. What made it even more suspicious was that Celeste's abandoned Tesla was discovered just a few feet away. That raised a lot of questions. How did her car end up that close to David's doorstep? Was it panic, or did someone leave it there on purpose? Before the raid, detectives had spent weeks preparing. They collected information, gathered evidence, and built a case strong enough for the court. When the raid finally happened, investigators seized computers, phones, and several bags of potential evidence. Forensic experts began going through everything: messages, photos, deleted files, trying to piece together what really happened between David and Celeste. Sources say police were especially searching for blood evidence inside the home. They believed it could have been the place where Celeste was either harmed or moved after she died. They used advanced tools like luminol, a chemical that glows when it touches even the smallest traces of blood. They also searched freezers, basements, and garages, checking for any place a body could have been stored before being moved to the car. Not long after the raid, David's behavior turned strange. Within days, movers were seen clearing out the entire mansion. He broke the lease and walked away from the luxury home. People wondered if he was running from evidence or just reacting to the media chaos. Investigators also started digging into his inner circle. His bodyguard came under FBI review, and even his manager was questioned for possibly knowing about Celeste's disappearance. Friends from the music scene claimed they thought Celeste was 19, never realizing she was underage and using fake IDs to attend clubs. Meanwhile, the case shook the entire music industry. David's tour dates were canceled, his label froze promotions, and other artists began removing collaborations. As pressure grew online, fans demanded justice for Celeste, while her grieving family became targets of unwanted attention and harassment. This investigation has now become bigger than one man. It's not just about a missing girl, it's about child safety, accountability, and how fame can sometimes hide dangerous secrets.